Hey guys, welcome to Thriving Thursday. We have a little special edition and special guest, Karen from Spark Vesta. And I'm super excited. So we're going to get started right now. And I am going to invite Karen in. Hey, Karen.
Hello.
So, for everybody who doesn't know, I have been doing some background work in Hollywood and such, and that's where I met Karen on set at Fox Studio.
Yes.
What were
That
we doing? We were doing,
we were doing backgrounds for Fox show called 911, and we were bunkered down for a long time, right? Because we didn't
a
really
long
get to do
time.
things until like 4 p.m. And it was such a small set that we just have to kind of like walk from one place to another.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember meeting you because um, I had to change clothes like 3 times. And at one point, I was turning back, and you were there, and you were helping me to like get things from my shirt or something like that. And then you're pointing at something, and like, oh, this lady's very nice. She's very like, she paid attention to like the small things, and I was totally appreciative for that. Thank you.
Aw, thank you. Yeah, I'm always hands-on. I'm like, oh, somebody's tag's out or something like that. But anyway, what a great meeting. And, who knew that we had, so much in common as far as health and wellness and what we like to share with people. So
Yeah.
today we're talking about our breathwork 30-day challenge that I've been doing with Karen. And you guys, I think we're on day 26-ish or something. And it's been really amazing in the way that, we all breathe every day, but the intentionality behind breathing and taking the time to do it is where I think those benefits come in. So, Karen, I'm going to let you talk a little bit about it. If you can just kind of, give us a little bit of information about what breath work is and the challenge that you're doing and how maybe how people can get involved, but we will be putting in information on how they can contact you separately. So go
Awesome.
ahead and let us know.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, I started breathwork about 3 years ago, and the way that I found it was, I just walked into a meditation place with a friend, and without knowing what I was getting into, it was just that breathwork, and I'm like, okay, it's just a different type of method of meditation. And the teacher had us lying down and start breathing, and 15 minutes in, I never really experienced having such a peace and calm and bliss in a short period of time. And I've been trying to meditate for at least by that time 5 years. And I have this problem with my mind goes, all over the place. And I was so surprised that within that 15 minutes of breathing, I could find myself having no thoughts, having that peace and calm and clarity. And of course, after I finished breathwork, everything coming back again. But I kept on with the practice, and that's what I offer the 30-day breathwork, because I find that with this practice, we sometimes forget that we're breathing, right? We all only notice our breathing when we're like stressed out, because maybe you're angry at somebody, and once you let the words out, you're like, and you stop breathing. And notice when you're also like in the car and you're like trying to speed through, or somebody cut you off, and you're like, I can't believe you're doing this, and you're like maybe constricting your own breath. But we never really allow ourselves to remember that we're actually pulling in air and letting it out. A lot of time we don't breathe at the full capacity because we probably just like da 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 da. We don't even sip in a lot enough air, because we're sort of kind of just take it for granted. That's what I'm saying, taking it for granted. And there's a research finding that modern society, modern people have reduced their lung capacity by almost 50% because they don't breathe in enough, because they go through life just breathing in that short breath. Just imagine right now, just do it with me right now, right? Take a good sitting position and breathe. And breathe a little bit more. You can still do it, right? And breathe a little bit more. And then let go. And you can do it again. And just breathe through the nose. Take another sip of breath. Another sip of breath. And let go. So that right now, you're just noticing your lung at almost maybe 80% of capacity. And if you pull more air, you can reach to 100%. But it's going to be tougher if we just do it like normally, right? Or if we just remember it, because we're so used to breathing in a low, very small capacity. Because if you just like at any moment pay attention again, your breathing, you have not breath as deep as what we have done in the last minute, right? You're probably just like, but you have not really breathed in. And that's how big the lung capacity is that we don't use. And when we don't use this lung to the fullest potential, then we're sort of have this place here that's constricted. And when this is constricted, the oxygen don't go to all the system that we have, to the brain, to the digestion, to the kidney, to your reproductive system and whatnot. And all of our body require oxygen to operate. So imagine this, your lung does not have the 100%. It's right now at 50%. So imagine how your kidney is operating. Imagine how your brain is operating. Imagine the other organs are operating because they don't get enough oxygen. So scientifically, that's been showing that we don't breathe enough. And thus we are not at our 100% potential body-wise, right?
Right.
And another thing is in our day-to-day, the amount of thoughts that we do entertain, right? It's millions. Like you can go from your to-do list to what happened to your kids, to your neighbor, to politics, to everything. And we're being bombarded every day with so many stimulants that's happening. And that in itself already like not giving you the fullest potential for your own capacity to be present, to use this mental space to whatever it is that you want to create in your life, because you entertain so many random tidbits that may not be important for you in day to day. So the two combined, the body and the mind, I find that breathwork has brought me into a space where I can control the two, because it's so simple, right? With the breathing, I can practice it on my body so that my body can remember its full potential, starting from the lung, with the oxygen traveling all over the place to bring the potential to 100%. And I can also control this part where I can say, okay, I don't need all this. When I'm breathing, I'm actually helping my mind to focus in one space, which is the breath itself. So that's why I love this practice. And I encourage people to do the 30-day practice or challenge, because habit, like some books say that in order for you to create habits, you need 21 days. I believe you need more. 30 days sort of kind of that negotiated place between 21 and maybe 40 and 60, right? So that's why I do this, so that people can remember. First, it will be hard to start, but when you commit to yourself, you will start to notice the benefit for yourself. And when you're committing it for 30 days, then it becomes normalized that you start to do it more often. Because if you don't normalize it, then it will always be like, another thing that you have to go to a meditation center, or another thing that you have to go to your teacher or whoever, whatever it is. But this practice is yours for you to take until, whenever and, wherever. So
Yeah.
that I create this challenge so that we can start normalizing this in our day to day and reap the benefit daily.
Yeah. I was excited to start it. So it wasn't as hard for me to start, but after a couple days, well, because I think I was craving something, and this was
Mm,
something new for me. We can try to eat right and we can try to work out,
yeah.
but breathing is not something that I tried to do.
People don't
Which,
remember that we're actually breathing.
yeah, I mean, it sounds like, breathing challenge. Like I breathe every day, every minute, but taking in that extra breath, it really does calm you down. And that's one thing that I heard years ago, about people that smoke. That inhalation that they're doing, and then that breathing out is really what calms them. And then unfortunately, nicotine and everything else has become the addictive part of it.
Yeah.
But really taking that time to just breathe is
Yes.
calming and relaxing. And so I was excited. And then I think I went through the first 2 weeks pretty well. Just doing 10 minutes. I didn't want to overstretch myself. And it's been feeling great. And I do feel like different when I'm breathing. I feel um, like something's happening in my brain.
Yeah.
And that might sound weird, but when I'm, you know, breathing in so much air, and doing it the way that you've showed us how to do it, belly first and then chest second. I don't know what it is, but something is allowing, maybe more, oxygen to get in there. And I don't know what it does. That's all you. But but I can feel it.
Yeah.
And it's also allowed me to focus more on the things that I want to do, and
Right.
add more things that I want to do for myself, for my body, for my health.
Oh, I love hearing that. Yay.
Yeah.
That's exactly one of the benefits that got me hooked, is because for a quick, like, practice of that, I start to get more clarity in what it is that I have to do day to day. And I feel more focused. Like, I will go through days where I don't do my breath work, and I start to notice that, oh, okay, I'm like distracted by this and that. And then all of a sudden by the end of the day, I'm like, I haven't done really what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm like, okay, I forgot to do my breath work this morning.
Exactly, exactly. And that's what I was saying before, when we were chatting behind stage, is that if I don't do it intentionally first thing in the morning, sometimes it escapes me and I don't get it done. And for me personally, I feel like I'm trying to do it too fast at
Mm,
night when I'm going to bed.
right.
So, you know, I'm one of those people that have a million things going on in my head. And um, even in the beginning of the day, after I just woke up, I still want to quiet myself,
Yes.
and I take at least an hour to 2 hours every morning for myself, so I can get things that I need done for myself, that self care. And, if I want to drink a cup of coffee, I don't want to drink it on the road. I don't want to drink it in a hurry. I
Yes.
want to be able to have it and kind of um, enjoy it.
Oh,
So,
I like
yeah, so
that.
I take a lot of time for myself, and it's really helped me to, just calm down, first of all, just kind of slow my brain down, and let it focus on what's really important, and to have that down. Like I said, my notes are right next to me when I do it. I lay down on my yoga mat in another room, so I have to intentionally walk to that other room, get my coffee or whatever I'm going to have for that morning, and lay down on my yoga mat and just have something soothing I'm listening to. And it's been so great. I'm really, really enjoying it.
Yay. I'm so happy to hear that. So happy to.
Yeah. So we were talking about, a lot in my practice, so to speak, I talk about um, preventative
Mm-hmm.
things. So
Yeah.
this is really a preventative practice that we can incorporate into our lives, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I think I explained to you a little bit earlier as well. We, our body have the ability to self heal, right? But our body has not been in its full capacity. Like I mentioned earlier, we have not really been breathing at full capacity. That means the oxygen that is in our body is not at all at full capacity to go into all the organs. So all the system is right now is operating in a low capacity. So self-healing becomes harder when the body is not, fully charged. So, you know, um, self healings is not possible because I also explaining earlier about things that the mechanism of how the self healing happen, right? The body will know when there are things that is uncomfortable that create discomfort. That could be from the food that we're eating, that could be from the things that we do incorrectly, maybe in our day-to-day, like even like sitting right now, sometimes we slouching and things like that. So the body knows that, oh, okay, we need to fix something here, and it will, give you some warnings. And one other thing that we don't pay attention is the discomfort that comes, or the danger that the body feel that comes from our own thoughts. Because imagine all those thoughts that come in, not all the thoughts that we entertain in our head is actually nice thoughts, right? We don't go, going through our life just thinking happy thoughts. That's almost impossible. Although we can train it that way, but sometimes, it can also be weird, like if we're just thinking happy thoughts. So even our thoughts already entertain a lot of negativity. Part of it also stress, anxiety, especially in the world that we're going through right now. We're being bombarded with a lot of fears. So the body is experiencing that, right? The body can't really differentiate, oh, that's just a news, oh, that's just your neighbors, or whatever. The body feels the frequency, the vibrations. Oh, this doesn't feel good. And you go through life not realizing that is giving your body that warning all the time that something is wrong, something is wrong, something is wrong. So the body will continue fighting that something is wrong, even though it's just a stress. It's just like working too hard, trying to heal, trying to push all this thing that why is it still look like I'm in danger all the time? It's like very primordial in our body. We know that if there's danger, we either have to fight or we have to run away. So our body is constantly in that state, and we don't have the energy to then allow it to heal. So we're not fully energized. The body is continuously fighting for something that the body doesn't even know what's going on. So what happened is we got inflammations, we got all kind of problems in the system that right now the medical system are giving a lot of labels to it. And the next thing you know, you're in a chronic pains, you're going to hospital for no reasons than things that can be prevented. So why I love this work so much is that we can actually change that. We can prevent ourselves from going into procedure that might not be necessary or might not even be um, comfortable for the body, because the body knows how to heal. And imagine all these like steroids or whatever drugs that trying to bypass certain things. It might give the body a good sense of like release, but it might not necessarily be um, removing the root cause of it. So with breath work, yes, it's preventative. It also goes into the root cause of it. Because one, we know that probably the biggest thing that the body is trying to remove out of the body, as like quote unquote the danger, it comes from our own mind. The stress, the anxiety, the fear that we are going through day in, day out. Two is how we're actually using all the part of the body, right? First, from our breathing itself. Are we allowing the oxygen to be fully immersing in our body? Are we helping our body to help the oxygen distributed throughout the entire body? So that's why, um, with just this two alone, I notice I don't get sick as easily as before. Like my immune system is higher. I digest food, more. How you get like the my metabolism sometimes somehow increase. My first time I do this 30-day challenge, even though I was not intentionally thinking of losing weight, I actually lose weight because the weight also come from, I don't know if you're familiar with the emotional eating, right? When you have a lot of things going on, even though it's just here, but it comes down into your emotions, and the next thing you know, you overeat on something. The things that you said that I'm not supposed to be eating that anymore, but because you're dealing with so much emotion, you start reaching out for those. So my first 30 days helped me to also lose weight, and I feel better, especially like Yvette also said, that I have more energy to do things that I really want to do. And that's what shifted this whole thing in my life.
Yeah, that's insane. Okay, I'm really glad to hear you say that because I was writing down little notes about how I was feeling during week 1, week 2, week 3, and I thought I was crazy because I felt as if my belly was not as big.
Yes,
And
yes.
I was like, how is that possible? Because it wasn't that I had lost um, any weight, but I just felt like leaner in that area. Like if I'm laying down and I'm trying to breathe out, when I first started, my gut was, out. I was breathing in and my gut was, protruding out quite a bit.
Yeah,
And now it's like normal.
yeah,
And so, okay, I thought I was going crazy. I thought I'm going to share this with her and she's going to think I'm crazy. But okay, good. So
yeah,
that's amazing because it's just one more practice that we can use in our
absolutely.
health and working towards that. Like I said, people think of nutrition and they think of working out, but breathing is something that we do every single day that we need to be intentional about, and we need to use those deep breaths in to be able to relax ourselves and de-stress ourselves and refocus on what's important in our lives. So Karen, I am so happy that we met and
Yay.
that you introduced this amazing breathwork challenge to me. I am really, really enjoying it. And I hope that everybody that's watching will check this out as well. I'm going to put all of her Instagram and Facebook information in the comments below, so you guys can get a hold of her and maybe do a breathwork challenge of your own with her, and really feel what we're talking about, because every little part that we can incorporate into our daily practices is really going to help us to achieve that optimal health. So thank you so much again for joining us, and we will see you guys next Thursday on Thriving Thursdays here and on our YouTube channel. And we will see you then. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.